Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper beautiful and super duper delicious wherever you are in the world, and that life is treating you oh so wonderfully. Now, good morning and much love to you all, my delicious little babies, okay? And thank you for following me on my journey. Now then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any of our passers-by, okay? And I hope that you too are having a super duper time wherever you are in the world. So much love to you all as well, my delicious little babies. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, beam me up, my juicy little lights. See, they're a lot brighter today, do you see? My delicious little babies. Thank you, little lads, you're lovely and bright. Okay, now then, my weather in our old neck of the woods in the old UK. Well, just to let you know, the wind's picking up, my delicious little babies. It is dry, but it is rather cold, okay? Now, it may be slightly different somewhere else in other parts of the old UK, okay? But I'm just letting you know what it's like where I am, okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so there's a number of things I want to say, and I was going to start by saying something else anyway. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I want to talk about this. So it seems to me that, I'm sorry, I always forget, don't I? If you do happen to enjoy my video today, okay, you do find it interesting, if you could please click on the like, okay? For others of you, if you haven't yet subscribed, you happen to stumble across me, you do happen to enjoy my videos, if you could please click on the subscribe. For others of you, please feel free to leave a comment, it's always welcomed. And finally, if you'd like to share, and please and thank you. Now then, let's get back to this. So it seems to me, right, that there are still some out there, okay, who, you know, to do with this whole Brexit thing, okay, my delicious little babies. So I wasn't even going to start by saying that, but I am while it's fresh in my old noddle. Now, here's the thing, I've noticed the ones who get, there we go, before I even say it, the ones who seem to be rather upset about this, and it's still happening now, my delicious little babies, and of course, you know, you've got others on the internet, you know, waffling. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they're doing, waffle, waffle, waffle. Do you see what I mean? Because they seem to be rather upset, you know, that, you know, for the ones who decided to leave Brexit. Now, the thing is this, here's how I see things, yes? Because yes, it is, you know, 50 years, isn't it, yes? But here's how I see things. The ones who seem to be more upset, and we've seen this from the get-go, were either the so-called middle class, do you understand what I mean? Or the business man and woman out there, they seem to be more upset about it. You know, the ones who are making ka-ching. For others of us out here, right, who chose to leave, myself included, okay? Well, you see, the thing is, it didn't bother us at all. Do you understand what I mean? We chose to leave, job done. You see? Because if you look, okay, let's just, this is how my noddle works, okay? Others could have a totally different opinion. Well, we're all entitled to our own opinions, aren't we? You know, you're not going to get everybody who's going to agree with everything, are you? But the fact is, okay, is that, you see, the way I see it is, especially over the years, yes, like you could go to a different country. Now, I've got absolutely nothing at all against another country, okay? I've travelled rather a lot, yes. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And of course, I always love to meet new man and woman, do you understand what I mean? You know, have a conversation, you know, learn more about their culture or their country, do you know what I mean? Because one must never be ignorant like that, do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, just like same as if somebody came over here from a different country, well, you know, they should really want to learn more about our country, the old UK and our neck of the woods, okay? Now, there are some, God bless them, where they do want to learn more, but you've also got a large number who do not. Okay, so let's fast forward. So when you look over the years, yes, okay, in any country, you're going to have what we call the posh areas, then you're going to have the not so posh areas, then you're going to have what I would call, you know, anywhere in the world, you know, you're going to have what you call, you know, if I even say it, the slums. Do you understand what I mean? Where it looks a bit on the old rough side. Do you see what I mean? And then, you know, it could be lots of waste ground, you know, nobody's living there, but it's just been left to, you know, just to look a complete mess. Do you see what I mean? You get that anywhere in the world, okay? So it's not just in one country, there we go, it's all across the board, okay? But when you look over the years, how other countries, and I'm only saying from what I've seen myself, okay? I'm speaking from personal experience, my delicious little babies, of visiting different countries that, well, their roads, for most, seem to look a lot better than ours. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, yes? So it's like there was a lot of ka-ching pumped into these different countries. Was there not? Yes, there was. There we are. But with our putrid governments, and of course we know who, okay, who are running things, yes, they want to, over the decades, to run our old UK into the ground. My delicious little babies, yes, when you got thousands of roads that have got potholes, have got all these different issues, yes, and also where signs should be put, for drivers and different things like that. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, so bit by bit, they chiselled away at our UK. Yes, they did. And I do not care what anyone tells me, okay? But it seems to me as though this Brexit business is not going away, is it? Because it's almost as if, let's just say, could it be, okay, that they wanted us to go back into, there we are, back in. Do you see what I mean? So they can flipping bleed more from us. There we are, and that's what I have to say about this. Do you see what I'm saying? The only ones, like I said, who it was bothering is business people. And I do not like that word, people sheeple, but, but the thing is, that's who it was bothering. Do you see what I mean? For those of us, working class, do you understand what I mean? Who just want to earn a living. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, well, how is anyone benefiting there? That's all I'm saying. My delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So, no. And if any of you out there, my delicious little babies, because that's what they'll keep doing, they keep spewing this shite, projecting it out, right? Because what they're trying to do, it's like when somebody plants a seed. So you plant a seed, you go away, and then you hope for the best. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? But we have got our British in our UK, yes, we have, right? Where we could have been so flourishing, where, you wouldn't have had, like, God love them, homeless on the streets. You wouldn't have had where one's having to do 2 jobs. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because we've got our resources, there we go, in flipping our neck of the woods in the old UK. Yes, we have. But of course, bit by bit, that was being stripped away from us, wasn't it? Do you see? I mean, I'm not saying that, at the end of the day that we, like things like fruit and, things like that, okay, that we wouldn't have to get some things, yes? But not everything, no. To enrich other countries. I'm not being nasty, I'm not prejudiced, and I'm not racist. I'm telling it the way it is. And all the time, our man and woman in our old UK, right? Well, haven't we over the decades been suffering? Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? That's all I'm saying. So what I'm doing is I'm standing up for my own country. There we go. I'm standing up for my own country. And anybody else who lives in the UK should be standing up for our country. Yes, they flipping well should. So, and then of course, with the coal, so I'm going to go on about that again. So excuse me, when I want to get rid of all of the coal mines and everything else. And now it comes back out again. Then you're hearing in other countries that they're restarting the coal and everything. Do you see what I'm saying to you all, my delicious babies? Yes? That's what I have to say. I mean, even if you look at who's just coming to me, old Noddle, Dyson, the ones who do the, what's it called, the vacuums and different things and hair you know, what do they call them, tongs and all that thing, yes? Well, even he went abroad because, hello, it was cheaper. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? So that's what I've got to say. You know what I mean? So I went to another country, just like, you know, when you look at call centres, okay? So for a lot, right, they were moving from our neck of the woods in the old UK. That's just coming to my noddle. And we're moving for call centres, you know, abroad. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because it's all cheaper. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? So I would say that the ones... we know who, okay, who are controlling our putrid flipping governments, yes, have been doing a very good job over the decades to flipping run us British into the ground. Yes, they have. And I'm not going to change my view. And if anybody feels that I'm wrong, well, then that's entirely up to yourselves. But I just say it the way it is. You know, there's many things that, you know, our country, in our neck of the woods in the old UK, you know, there's many things that we're useful for, but it's just that we never had, there we go, the opportunity, because bit by bit it was taken, there we go, away from us. And then you had, you know, coming from other countries, not being nasty, because they think that it's all butterflies and fairies when you come to the old UK. Do you see what I mean? Like doctors, nurses, things like this, yes? And at the end of the day, but the other side of that, the other side is that they, you know, that I know of, only according to what I have heard over the years, right, is that they had to pay high prices as well for things. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes, so, you know, there's a lot more to this. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, but at the end of the day, so I've got nothing against any nationality, any different culture, any different country. No, I have not. But I do not see why we must keep our mouths shut, keep our traps shut, yes? And the way that our old UK has been run into the ground. Now then, changing the subject, something else which was on my old noddle. In fact, it was yesterday and I thought, well, I'm not going to put out another video. I'll wait until today. Like, and by the way, I'm not saying this about all of the Albanians. No, I am not. Okay, so I do not want my words twisted in any way, shape or form. Okay, my delicious little babies, yes? But it's like, you've got your honest Albanians, just like you've got any different nationality or colour. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, you got your honest and then you got your dishonest. But if we look at this the way it is, there has also been a lot of Albanian criminals coming into our country, you know, driving the old BM, their wheels and everything like that, parading themselves. London seems to be a big place. There we go. Okay. So at the end of the day, do you see what I mean? It's like it's the mafia. It's like there we go, before I even say it, it's like they were deliberately sent. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes, there are pubs in Birmingham, in my neck of the woods in the old UK, in Brummyland, yes, where it is completely, and I know this 150%, okay, where they, and I knew somebody actually years back who walked into a pub, right, just to go and get a pint. They, you know, there wasn't a big drink or anything like that, just wanted to get a pint. And the owner of the pub said, well, it's best that you know, that you drink your pint and you go. Well, of course, this man, he couldn't understand why, you know, and he just said, well, why? Do you see what I mean? But what it was completely run by Albanian men. There we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, and of course they didn't like us. Well, we get back to the same thing, don't we? If they do not like us, then they know what to do. Trap out of our country. Do you know what I mean? But do not feel that you can throw your weight around in our country, but it's like a mafia, isn't it? That's what, there we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little baby? So I'm not saying it's about all of the Albanians. No, I am not. I'm just saying how we been seeing things, there we go, unfolding. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Like, sorry, excuse me, I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. It's like if we look at years ago, like you used to have the British, like the Cray twins and things like that, because that was like a mafia, there we go, wasn't it? That was like a mafia. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, and with mafias, as we very well know, it's like you pay protection money, and do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes? But to me, the way I see it is, and this goes to any country, you know, we should not have to have this sort of thing going on in our countries. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? It's like, is it in Mexico? Is it you have the cartel there? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But it's a different kind of level how they operate, if you know what I'm saying, in different countries. I know what I mean anyway. What I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, yes, but this is what's going on. You said to me, these want to send all these into our countries. Not good man at all. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? I'm not saying about everybody, no I am not. I'm just saying that when you see how things have unfolded, do you see what I mean? And it seems very much to me that they are not wanting any of us British, there we go, before I even say it, to have any rights to speak, to say anything. Because you're either looked at that you're racist or you're prejudiced or something like this. Why don't they all F off nicely? We're fed up. It's a flipping old record. We're fed up of hearing this shite. Do you know what I mean? Every single British man and woman has a right to a free speech. Instead of being told that we're this and we're that and that we're the other and that we got no say at all, we got plenty to flipping say. I'm telling you that, my delicious little babies. Then I will carry on saying it. But we do not need these criminals in our country. No, we do not, and we do not want them in our country. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, and I know that for some of you delicious little babies, you're going to think, oh, she's going on about one, going on about... No, it needs saying. Big time it does. I mean, if you look at, let's just take a look. If you look at other countries, if we really look at the numbers here, okay, because everything works off ding numbers, as we all flipping very well know, right? How many British, if we was to count, have moved abroad? If we was to count in every single country, how many British have actually done that? Yet, how many different nationalities are in our neck of the woods in the old UK? And of course, you know, coming here because I feel that they're going to get a, there we go, they're going to get a better deal. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? I know what I'm saying, so I'm not racist, I'm not prejudiced, and if anybody thinks that of me, well, I'm not even going to apologise. I'm not sorry that somebody thinks that of me. It's just that I'm saying the way I see things, and I will not change. I will never change. You know, we do not want this destruction in our country. No, we do not. Everybody should be able to, instead of having a big black cloud over them, we should be able to live in peace, love and harmony. We should be able to have job roles that we want to be in. You know, because there seems to be so many, God bless them, where they're in jobs that they simply just do not want to be in. But who's created this? Them. And they're flipping lackeys running our country in the old UK. That's who's flipping caused this, my delicious little babies. Yes, it is. And I'm not going to change what I'm saying. Okay? No, I am not. So that's what I've got to say there. So anyway, let's change the subject, shall we? So if you could please look. These are, these are on, because it's not a lot of information today, my delicious little babies. I've just got 2 pieces of information. So if you could please tap into the old space bar, yes, UK latest Intel report, 31st of January of Jan 2023. Sorry, excuse me, part 2. Now, I'll just repeat that once more, my delicious little babies. UK latest intel reports, 31st of Jan 2023, part 2. That's on YouTube, and if you please look in and subscribe, it should say Funky Prepper. Well, he's talking about a number of things because he's been receiving emails, you know, from the public. There we go. He's been receiving emails. Okay, so what he does is he reads out the emails. Okay, it's usually only very short. His video is only minutes long. I think it's about 8 minutes long or something. Anyway, so he's letting you know the latest there. Yes. Okay. Sorry, excuse me again. Right. The other thing I want to tell you about, now this is in the old space bar, okay? And if you could please type in my delicious and wonderful little babies out there, for those of you who do have an interest, okay? They can't hide this anymore. So I'll repeat that once more, my delicious little babies. And by the way, that's gone out in my old dog and bone this morning to all of my delicious little babies in my phone, okay? They can't hide this anymore, okay? So it's on YouTube, my delicious little babies, and then if you could please look in and subscribe, sorry, it should say Neil McCoy Ward. W for Walter, A for Apple, R for Romeo, D for Delta. Okay, so we're going to tick these off, okay? Now then, what he's discussing. Now, I did a video months ago, okay? And I do remember it. Yes, I do. Okay, my delicious little babies. And I was talking about eggs. Now, what I was also discussing, and no, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, and neither would I want to be. I've said that before, and I say it again. I've said it many times. But eggs are actually, there we go, very good for us, okay? Now, the thing is, it's like when I talk about this whole cholesterol business, right? It was a crock of shite. And there we go, and I've done my research to know this. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, I have. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But they had to push that along so that they could get pop a pill, pop a pill. Do you know what I mean? For God bless their beautiful dear souls out there, yes? Because obviously they did not know, there was not to know. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But then again, we get back to the same thing. This is about doing, there we go, research on things. And I do understand that not everybody can research for whatever reason this may be. I do understand, okay? But at the same time, maybe it would have saved thousands of delicious little babies out there from having to have medications that they simply did not need. And then to be told that they couldn't, you know, it is best that you do not eat eggs, or that, for example, that you do not, that's not on this video, by the way, I'm talking about something, yes, or that not to have butter and not to have dairy and not to have all of these things, yes, when in actual fact, it's good for you. Do you see what I mean? Because we need things like butter, like cream, like milk, you know. We need things like this for the calcium, you know, for our teeth, for our nails, you know, for things like this, for our bodies. Do you see what I mean? But when they're telling you, and I've also noticed, anyway, let me just get back to this and I'll go on to what else I want to say. So, yeah, so what he's discussing about, and Neil, our old Neil, not in that way, my delicious little babies, he's looked furthermore into this. Yes, now it turns out that in parts of America there seems to be these, God bless where the beautiful little chickens have, you know, have been their home, shall we say, okay, that there's been places going up in flames. Okay, now what I thought when I was listening to this morning was straight away, I thought, ka-ching, insurance companies. And then he came out with it. Do you see what I mean? So we got to see circle, circle, circle. Do you see what I mean? Because if you've got a company that's folding, say, there we go. If you've got a company that's folding, now this is no different to in our neck of the woods in the old UK over the decades. You know, there's been insurance jobs. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes. So if it goes up in a, you know, puff. The magic dragon lives by the sea. Sorry, that's just coming to me whole lot, all right, okay. But things that go up into a puff of smoke. Do you see to me? 9 times out of 10, it's an insurance job. Do you see? But then they're discussing about, which I've been hearing for days now, about, you know, it's something to do with the feed and something to do with this, why the chickens are not laying eggs and things like this, yes. But This is how my noddle thinks, yes? Right? The way I see it is like this, yes? You see, if something is good for you, I don't know whether you've noticed, my delicious little babies, because I know that some of you would have done, yes? That they want to, let's just say, they do not want it promoted, okay? Because that's not helping them, is it? Because if you want to make people more poorly and more sick, then you do not want them knowing about anything that's good for you. Do you see? Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, yes? So, anyway, but Neil, God bless him, you know, looks more into things. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, and then there's others who have said that since they've changed the feed, okay, you know, with the little chickens, that then they start to lay eggs again. Do you see what I mean? But this is just another way, this is how I see it, okay, of stopping anybody from having good produce. It's like, so I'm going to change the subject, so that's been ticked off, okay? So if you could please take a listen. It is interesting, my delicious little babies, yes? Now, it's like, what was I just about to say? Yes, on the internet, I'm noticing that now, as far as I've always been aware, that's just me, right? Garlic does not do you any harm. In fact, there we go, garlic is very good for you. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, please do not get me wrong. I mean, it's not that, I wouldn't say the nicest smell in the world. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes? I mean, especially if, you know, because usually, you know, for anybody who does have garlic, my delicious and beautiful little babies out there, you will know yourself, won't you? I mean, you can brush your Amsterdam, your teeth 3 or 4 times, couldn't you? But if the smell's still there and you wake up in the old morning, do you see what I mean? Because it's going to stay in your mouth, that even though you brushed your old Amsterdam, yes? I mean, your mouth can feel like it's only a figure of speech, my delicious little babies, right? I'm sure that some of you have experienced this, that it can, you know, it's like your mouth feels like the bottom of a parrot's cage. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Think, oh, I've got to, you know, brush my Amsterdams again, you know what I mean? You can smell it. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? But yet I've noticed rather recently, my delicious little babies, that on the old internet now, that they're trying to say that all these other things, and I noticed that they put it, you know, they make a point of putting it, you know, before they upload it, you know, it's 150%, yes, 150 times, sorry, more healthier than garlic. Now we go back to years ago, when, you know, I've said it before on one of my videos and I'm going to repeat it again, my delicious little babies, that they, you know, it started circling, do you understand what I mean, doing its rounds. Oh, the Queen doesn't like garlic. So if the Queen, the putrid Queen, doesn't like garlic in our neck of the woods in the old UK, well, the best thing to do is not to eat it. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? It's like years ago, I read something, right, I'm pretty sure it was on DuckDuckGo. Yes, and I read something that they were saying, and this was in America, right, saying that down in somebody's basements, because, you know, like with some of the American houses, and then they have basements, do you see what I mean? They don't really have it here in our old neck of the woods in the old UK. Do you understand what I mean? Well, not that I know of, not a lot of places would have it, yes. But in America, it's rather common, isn't it? So for anybody who lives in America or comes from America, then you would have to agree with me, there we go, about this. Now, they were saying that these spuds, these potatoes, yes, that, well, that they'd rotted in this basement. This is years ago now. It's just something that just reminded me, my delicious little babies, jogged my memory for some reason. And they were saying that because these spuds, yes, that because they were rotting and they've rotted, that apparently they were killing members of the family. So these spuds, apparently, my delicious little babies, were down in the basement in a house in America. And anybody who came from upstairs, above, you know, above the basement, yes, who lived there, yes, and went down into the basement, well, apparently it was the fumes of the old spuds which were killing the family. I know that just sounds really mad, what I've just said to you, my delicious little babies, but do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the shite that gets spewed out? Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? And when I was reading it, I thought, what, we're flipping planet? Do you know what I mean? Who would even put such shite? Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? Spuds do not hurt you at all. But of course, we get back to the same thing, don't we? You know, spuds have been good for us for years. Now, it's like they said about the starch, you know, like when you're boiling spuds and then you see that white bit, yes, and then you just get a spoon and then you know, scoop it up and transfer it into the sink. Do you know what I mean? Or into a dish, yes? But starch is actually, there we go, is good for you. Do you see what I mean? It's like they say that salt, I've heard this over the decades, salt is no good for you. Well, salt, we need a certain amount of salt in our bodies. There we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, so this is what's going on. So we're seeing it a lot on the internet, you know, 150 times better, 150, do you see what I mean? And then you've got where there seems to be a lot more vegetarian now as well. I mean, please do not get me wrong. I mean, you know, I'm not what you would call a fussy eater. No, I am not a fussy eater, okay? But I eat fish, but I do not eat meat. I've got nothing against anyone who eats meat. I mean, this is my second time around now as a veg. Do you understand what I mean? Where I do not eat meat, but I eat fish. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So I've got nothing against anybody who eats meat. No, I have not. And neither would I ever. And I, you know, will cook meat for anybody. Do you understand what I mean? Do you see what I mean? That's not an issue. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But I've noticed that they're putting a lot more vegetarian. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So, you know, one's out there, my delicious little babies. You have to see how this is rocking and rolling, what's going on. There we go, what's going on here. Do you see what I mean? Because, of course, they're trying to drive everybody, as well as eating flipping bugs, yes? Which really, to be honest, are not made for human consumption, okay? And then they wanted us to eat, I've just got rabbit. You know, rabbit. You know, like where, you know, they want you to be like little rabbits. Do you see what I mean? You know, like I'm talking about not the bugs. I'm talking about, you know, like eating lettuce and all these things. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Because this is what they are wanting. Yes? But of course, for themselves, then, right, and the putrid flipping lackeys that they are, well, then they can eat full and plenty and eat what they want. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? So, you know, one's out there, my delicious little babies. Need to see how this is rocking and rolling. There we go, and what's going on here. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So let me go on to the next thing. So we're back to this again about smart meters. Now, I've said on my other videos, okay, months ago, okay, we would go months ago. I mean, I do not know everything. No, I do not. Nobody knows everything, do they? And anybody who claims to know everything, well, I just feel that they need to put their ego aside, wind the neck in, and flipping get real. Do you see what I mean? Nobody knows everything at all, okay? And that's a fact, okay? So if others out there do not like it, well, I'm not apologising. That's my thoughts, and that's it. I'm entitled to my opinion, right? Okay? So we're back to this again. I said months ago, if our delicious little babies out there, whoever happened to stumble across me, or for some of my beautiful and delicious little subscribers out there, you only need to go onto YouTube, please, and thank you, my delicious little babies, and please type in Barry Trower, which is spelled T for Thomas, R for Romeo, O for Oscar, W for Walter, E for Echo, R for Romeo, Barry Trower. And then, of course, you'll hear and what he says about a number of things. Or you could go on to BitChute or Brand New Tube and you listen to Mark Steele. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes. Or you could go on to our lovely David Icke. And by the way, could everybody please send their prayers out? Who knows our beautiful and delicious David Icke? Not in that way, everybody, okay? But he's hurt his arm. God bless him, okay? So we could all send out for the healers out there. Please send him healing. Please and thank you, because he's a lovely gentleman. Do you understand what I mean? And we don't like to see him where he's in pain. Anyway, and so yes, oh, and our little Gonzalo as well, our little Gonzalo Lira, God bless him. Well, I do believe he had a problem he had I don't know if he fell off his motorbike or something. Well, God bless him. Could we all send healing to our lovely Gonzalo Lira? And again, not in that way, my delicious little baby. Yes, please help send him healing as well. But yes, and thank you. And let's just get back to this. So we're back to the smart meters again. Okay, because they're really trying to flip in, you know, fast forward. There we go, fast forward this, really flipping fast. Do you see what I mean? No, I'm not having no flipping smart meter, I've already said. I've said it on my other videos as well. I'm not having no smart meter that can say what the flipping well I like. I'm not having one. That is it. Done. I'm done telling them. But I've tried to contact my gas and electricity supplier, okay? Because I sent someone round. I said it on a previous video. They sent somebody round, you know, for me to have my meters changed. I'm not having my meters changed. I told them so. So he said, oh, well, what I'll do, he said, I'll send them. I'll tell them with an email. He said, then they'll send you an email. He says, and then you can, you know, opt out of it. Well, that's not the email that I received at all. The email that I then received said, we will be coming on February, I forgot what flipping day now. We will be, is it the 10th? We will be coming on February the 10th to change, right? But when I tried to call my gas and electricity supplier, right, you cannot get through. Whereas at one time you could call them and you get through. You might have the old do flipping music. Do you see what I mean? But then you get through. Do you see what I could? Anyway, they're not changing my meters. No. And for all of you wonderful and delicious little babies out there, if anybody asks you if you're on a prepayment, you tell them no. Because there are issues with those ones, you know, those new ones. And I know this from having neighbours and everything. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? Like, if you've got the cash, ka-ching, and you just go and top up, yes? You just pay and you just get it topped up and then job done. With these, what you can do, even though it's prepayment, is that you can go, you call them or something, yes, and you can top up or you can do, well, I do not want any of that. And I do not want to flipping damn well flipping smart meter, because let me tell you, and for those who've got monthly, you know, direct debits and things like that, what they've got to understand here is if they want to, okay, and this for a fact, and I've known this long time, that if they want to, and that smart meter and everything like that, they can just cut the flipping electric off. Yes. And as we very well know, they listen to everything, just like a flipping Alexa. Do you see what I mean? So you have to be careful what you say. Do you see what I mean, or what you do? Because I can hear everything. I've said this before. I've done telling everybody. Do you see what I mean? But do many listen to me? No. Do you see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's continuing. So we're going to tick that off, my delicious little babies. Now, finally, what I want to discuss, and I'm going to tick this off, and then I'm going to close my book. Okay, so that's all information for today. Now then, yesterday, I had something on my mind, my delicious little babies. And it was on my mind, and I thought, you know what? I thought, because when I get something into me old noddle, right, there's usually a reason why, okay? So, and what it was, I was thinking about, you know, that film, Pretty Woman. In fact, I had a beautiful and delicious, one of my beautiful and delicious small circle of, you know, friends. She's called me this morning, okay? So we had a good old natter for nearly an hour. And I said to her, I said, yes, I said, I'm going to mention this today. And she said, yes, that's a good idea, because she was seeing things from a different angle, just like I am, do you see what I mean? And she says, well, there may be somebody out there, she said, who maybe they've been wanting to make a decision about something. Do you understand what I mean? And she said, and maybe that's what you're picking up on here. Do you see what I mean? I mean, there could be a number out there. Feeling that's why. Do you see what I mean? But anyway, let me get back to the matter in hand. So this is something entirely different now, my delicious little babies. You're probably wondering, well, you know, what's your woman there flipping even talking about? Well, I'm going to explain it in the best way I can. So if we look at the film Pretty Woman, just let me please have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. The trouble is, I yap all the flipping time, see, my flipping coffee goes cold. Anyway. So I was thinking about this yesterday, and I thought, yes, Pretty Woman, it's an old film, isn't it? You know, with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. Now, for those of you who know the film, so, you know what I'm talking about, my delicious, beautiful little babies. But for others of you who have not watched the film, because you will get some who have not watched the film, do you see what I mean? Well, it's about this, you know, this businessman who's ka-chinged Do you know what I mean? Up to his eyeballs. So he's got full and plenty, yes? Who's Richard Gere. And then he meets Julia Roberts. And she happens to be living in a little apartment, yes, with her friend. Oh, she's sweet. With her little friend, yes. And then what happens is that Julia Roberts then comes into contact with Richard Gere. Okay, I cannot remember their names in the film. It's been years since I watched this film. Anyway, it's just really odd how it came back to me after all these years. Anyway, so fast forward. I mean, it's a lovely film, good film. It's a lovely film. Do you understand what I mean? But you've got to follow the story. It's like any film, really. You've got to follow the story. Do you know what I mean? It's like our lives right now, globally, all over the world, and has been for decades. Well, our lives appear to be like a film, doesn't it? Everybody's got a different story, haven't they? Anyway, so let's get back to the matter in hand. So what it is, this businessman, he's very serious. My delicious little babies, he's like there we go, he's like a workaholic. Do you see what I mean? But what Julia Roberts teaches him in the film, yes, is that, you know, you can be nice, you can be different, you know, to how you are. So in his case, and something that just, I don't know, it's like he even took his shoes and socks off at one point, you know, so he's wearing his suit and everything, you know, because that's how one's been trained to be in the old world, okay? And he was actually walking on the grass with no shoes and socks on. Do you understand what I mean? So it's like he was very slowly, bit by bit, sort of loosening up a bit, relaxing a bit. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But then throughout the film, because he never told anybody how himself, Richard Gere, and Julia Roberts met, he never said a word of how they met. Okay, but obviously he liked her and she liked him. Do you see what I'm saying? But the two of them came from two completely different worlds. Do you see what I'm saying to my delicious little babies? Yes. I mean, I remember that. I mean, it is years ago since I watched it, but it was so funny when she walked into the shop. I mean, the first time round, I mean, and the way that there's stuck-up flipping, pompous flipping women treated her. Yes. But then the next time she walked in, do you know what I mean? And, well, it was a very different story, wasn't it? I just thought, good on you, Julia. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. You know, because she brushed up really well, didn't she? God bless her. Anyway, so the next thing you know, so he had a friend. I don't know why, it came into my old noddle yesterday. And I thought, I'm going to mention it on my video. And of course, one of my beautiful and delicious dear little friends, she was in agreement. She said, yes, because there's going to be someone out there, or, you know, some others who are maybe in this sort of little dilemma at the moment. Do you see what I mean? So then he had a mate, didn't he? Now, it turned out that, you know, his mate, you know, being the jealous one that he is. Do you see what I mean? Yes, which of course he had a whiff of his own. Do you see what I mean? But he wanted a bit of Julia Roberts, if you get my drift, my delicious babies, yes? So, of course, you know, he tried to, you know, really insulted her to the hilt. Do you understand what I mean with his words, the putrid creature? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, but he wanted a bit of what his friend had. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, yes? Anyway, so really, anyway, so Richard Gere comes in, you know, gives him a, you know, good box. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, please do not get me wrong. I mean, you know, I do not, you know, say that violence, you know, is the, but, you know, if somebody's pouncing on, you know, your missus, then of course you're going to do something, aren't you? You're not just going to stand there and go, oh, that's all right, you carry on. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, when it was due for her to, so it was a jealousy is what I'm saying to you, yes? Okay, so when it comes to the end of the film, you know, and of course, you know, that was the time, you know, Richard Gere had paid her, you know, the ka-ching, do you see what I'm saying? But you could see that he felt really upset and really sad about it, and really so did she, do you know what I mean? So she went back to her apartment, you know, to go back to her little friend. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? And that was that. Well, then Richard Gere, he was told by the hotel manager, you know, where Julia Roberts had gone back to. Do you see what I mean? And then, of course, you know, Richard Gere said, you know, well, drive drive me there, do you see what I mean? Anyway, it ended up all juicy and delicious, and obviously, you know, the end of the film, they lived happily ever after. Do you see what I mean? But my point is, they came from different worlds, yes? Are you following me, my delicious little babies, yes? So you have that situation, just like, and Kenny Rogers came into my head. Now he's passed away, God bless him, what a flipping fantastic artist, singer. Now in his later life, because he had a number of bands, didn't he, children, yes, and a grown up anyway, I think he had a couple of marriages that ended, you said to me, anyway, so he happened to walk into a restaurant, you see. And what happened was, so he was obviously ordering a meal. You know, this is going back over a couple of decades now ago. And, well, what happened was, well, he fell in love with the waitress. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? So, well, of course, her mum and dad never liked it. Because, I mean, if we look at it, I mean, was he nearly twice her age or something? Because I think she was only 35, 36 at the time, his missus, yes? Well, they never, her mum and dad never liked, you know, Kenny Rogers. You have to know the story, you see. Anyway, but he wasn't going to give up. And of course, you know, she fell in love with him. You know, so it's a lovely, beautiful story, do you see what I mean, yes? And then they went on to have twins, and I do believe they were together for over 2 decades. Yes, until he passed over. Oh, God bless. Okay, fantastic singer, you know. Sang some beautiful songs. Do you see what I mean? Yes? Anyway, sorry, excuse me. So, I feel that the point I'm making, if we look at over the decades, and you've got like, sorry, excuse me once again, A-listers. So we're talking about the famous, you know. And where they've, you know, so instead of sort of marrying somebody who is totally different to themselves, do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because you've got the light, I do not mean it in a nasty way, but you've got the light and the dark, haven't you? Do you understand what I mean? So it means in times of distress, if you've got that much ka-ching, and then, you know, you're asked to go and sing here, or you're asked to go and do a film here, and film there, and sing here, and sing there, yes? But you need something, if you're following what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, to balance that. Do you see what I mean? That's why you find that a lot of the A-listers, when they married somebody in their own circle, that it never worked. Now, there's other actors and singers who actually married somebody who wasn't famous at all. Do you see what I mean? And neither did their husbands or wives want to be put in the limelight. I mean, you'd be lucky if you've seen them a handful of times in decades. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But there needed to be that, there we go, but there needed to be that balance. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But because we've been brought into a world, my delicious little babies, and this has been going on for decades, yes, where, oh, you can only be with somebody who's got ka-ching, or do you understand what I mean? Or you can only be with somebody. Another thing that I find that happens, and this has been going on for decades, yes, that I've found that happens. It's like you can have like academics, do you understand what I mean? And then, of course, they're sort of like programmed, you know, to go out with a fellow flipping academic. Do you see what I mean? It's like, if you look at, say, the fire service, doctors, nurses, do you see what I mean? Now, over the decades, you'll find that it used to be happening rather a lot, okay? Not so much now in the past couple, but previously, where, like, you'd have say a doctor, well, he would only go out with a doctor, so you've got 2 doctors, husband and wife, or husband, wife. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. Same as nurses, so you see that they go out with a nurse. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Or the fire service, they may go out with a firewoman or a fireman. Do you see what I'm saying? Or the fireman may go out with a nurse, or may go out with a doctor. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So it always goes to circle. Are you following what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? But sometimes, I don't mean this nastily, and I've met many flipping academics, let me tell you. And I've also met many over the decades. Not being nasty, my delicious little babies, but guess what? God just loves the truth, yes? Where, you know, not being nasty, but they could bore each other to hell. There we go, see? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because they're both programmed the same way. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, whereas if you get, and going back to Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, the Pretty Woman film, where they just come from two completely different worlds. So I just wanted to get my point out here, that because of, that in the world, them again, yes, and what they've done, it's like, oh, you must only be with this man or this woman. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Without being able to have your own mind of, there we go, see, I'm all cold here all the way through the video, do you see what I mean? Without having your own mind to say, well, and that explains, if we look at this in a different way, so this is just coming to me old noddle as well, it's like, if you look at it, you've got a lot of businessmen. This has been going on a long time, decades, yes, right? Where they've got the missuses at home, for most, yes, or the misters in some cases, because obviously we live in a different type of world, so I'm not saying this to upset, offend anybody. I did not mean it that way, okay? But then that's why they go to, like, shall we say, ladies of the night, or do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because the way that they see it, okay, is that it's somebody totally different, like, say, something that, say, their husbands or wives would not do. They could go to a lady of the night or a gentleman of the night, and they could get, let's just say, to fill the cup up. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? So they're just wanting something different. Now, I know that you're probably saying to yourself, so what on earth is all that about? But when you actually spare a thought for this, do we not get back to where you have got so many couples out there, and it's been going on, there we go, for even say it, for decades, who are just not compatible? And then they bore each other to hell. And then what do they then do then? And hell's not swearing. And then what do they do then? Well, they don't want to be with them, do they? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So, maybe there's some delicious little babies out there who will happen to stumble across my videos, my channel. But it's just to give you food for thought, really. Sometimes it's nice to have completely, there we go, before I even say it, completely different couples. Do you understand what I mean? Where they link up so that you got one who is lifting the other. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Because if you've got two, a couple, like, say, in the same profession and doing the same thing, well, after a while, do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, I know exactly what I'm saying. What would they have to really, there we go, to talk about or to laugh about? Or do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? And then it's so serious. So you've got to have one that's like laughy, jokey, the other one, even if the other one is rather serious. And then it should balance out. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? And this is where other couples as well should have, they do not have to have 101 hobbies. Do you understand what I mean? But if one enjoys doing one hobby and somebody enjoys the other, husband or wife enjoys doing another hobby, well, then that's what they just enjoy doing, isn't it? You see what I mean? But, couples who really know one another, and this is something I want to end with, okay? And I've seen this many a times, many, many, many times in my life. And I think it's so beautiful, like when you've had couples who've been, like, married, say, 50 years, and God bless them, they've been blessed to get to that. Well, you could have, I don't know, say, their dear wife, on the sofa in a chair doing a knitting. Do you see what I mean? And you can have the husband, or do you know what I'm saying to you? Yes? And he could be reading a book or a newspaper, but they do not have to exchange words because they're so comfortable in each other's company. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? So I know that for those out there, they always say, you've heard this over the decades, yes, before I even say it, that you must always be talk all the time, but not necessarily. Sometimes words that are not spoken, unspoken, yes, but if one knows another, They understand each other's energy. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes? But it's just that for thousands, millions have been programmed. Do you see what I mean? That you must only be with this particular, who's got the ka-ching or comes from a rich family or something like that, yes? I've met some of the best families, bang, bang, bang. I've met some of the best families, yes, I have, where they haven't got a lot, but they're the most beautiful, tight-knit, family you could ever wish to meet. Do you see what I'm saying to you? There we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So it's not all about that, and this is what I've been saying over the months on my videos. Sometimes you have to come away from the material aspect, okay? Because this is, very sadly, what's led many, like I say, into a flipping ditch. There we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, so anyway, I just want to end the video on that. So it was just giving food for thought, really. There could be some out there who's in that situation. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Yes, that's all I'm saying. Some of you may find my video interesting and some may not. But I just wanted to leave food for thought there. It's not always about the ka-ching. No, it's not. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. Old-fashioned Jamaican saying, that's just come into me old noddle. 2 ball, can't rule 1 pen. Do you see what I'm saying? 2 ball, can't rule 1 pen. So I'm going to leave it like that, my delicious little babies. And for those of you so very kind to even listen to me and to even give me a like, thank you, and God bless you, okay? Now you just all have the most beautiful morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world, okay? And please pat on the back, please give a hug, whether it's your family members, your work colleagues, okay? Or friends, okay? And tell them that they're beautiful and juicy and delicious, okay? And that you love them. Okay, and any strangers, please say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to them, give them a friendly smile. Do you see what I mean? Because really, we're in a bonkers world at the moment. It's complete flipping madness, and every day there's a new flipping drama, okay? And, it's just like a circus. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? And these are the flipping Egypts and Pratts running our countries, okay? But of course, I say that about all, okay? Running our countries, complete flipping Egypts and Pratts. Do you know what I mean? And twats and twits, okay? And very sadly, this is what we're stuck with at the moment. But there will be, there we go, before I even say it, there will be changes. Okay, my delicious little babies, so until my next video, sending you all so much love, okay? God bless to you all. Take care, thank you, goodbye.